Oh, good. Okay, so hello, everybody. Oh, I have to admit everybody now. Hmm. So,
Hi.
Scott. Hello, everybody. Sorry,
Hi, how are you?
I am doing good, but now I'm having to admit everybody where normally I don't have to.
Well, you know.
Yeah, I love technology. This has not been my friend at all on any front, phone-wise, computer-wise. Some of you have felt my struggles earlier on in the week. Some are feeling it now. Just kidding.
Hmm.
All right, let me see. I've got 13. I know Roseanne just texted me. Jay, he's okay. There's okay, Jay's here. Okay, good. All right, let me pull up this presentation real quick for you, Sherri.
Sure.
I had to do a restart on my computer, guys. So sorry, that's why I'm a few minutes late. And I think we had about 17 or 20 people registered. So we're only like lagging a couple right now. Hopefully they'll come in or something probably just came up.
I don't know if Ron was one of them, but
He hasn't messaged. Well, no, you guys don't text me yet, Cynthia. So hopefully he'll pop in.
no, he won't
Oh, he
because
won't. Okay.
he's driving to
Hopefully he was
Nashville.
the one that registered. I got you.
Right, exactly.
Where's everybody from?
Yeah. Where's everybody from?
I'm from Gainesville, Georgia.
Okay.
Georgia.
I'm from Salem, Wisconsin.
Macon, Georgia.
Macon, Georgia. Okay, we got
Yep.
Georgia on our mind.
Georgia's definitely on our mind. PowerPoint. I want my PowerPoint to be on my mind right now.
Massachusetts is here.
Yep. Dina's in the house. Dina's one of my newly offboarded owners. So welcome back, Tina.
Thank
And
you.
Dina, it's where from?
Massachusetts.
Okay.
New England area.
Still cold there?
It feels like Tucson here. Or earlier in the week it did.
How's that hot yoga treating you now, Dina? I did hot yoga on my field visit with Dina, you guys. That was very fun. I didn't pass out.
Wow. That's good.
Arizona's
Where's
been treating
Jeff
me well.
from?
Just kidding.
Jeff?
PowerPoint, just open. Like it's not that complicated.
St. Petersburg.
Okay.
Hilton Head.
All right.
Colorado,
Cool.
then
Denver, Colorado. That's right.
Yay.
we got Arizona in the house.
Yeah, hi Sherri.
Hi. How are you?
Good, nice to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. They announced you today. Feel like you've been around for a while.
That's what I thought. I was like, oh yeah, there it is.
I swear my PowerPoint's opening, you guys. We've got another Georgia owner coming in right now. Here's Carrie Oliver.
Georgia.
She pops in.
Right.
Tanya Allen, I don't know if you've met Tanya, Sherri, yet. She's the newest coach in the Alabama area.
Oh, cool. Lisa's still with us, even though she's moved, right?
Lisa
Yes.
Williams.
She
Yeah.
covers Alabama,
Yeah.
Okay.
Tanya's actually
Right.
covering the West Coast right now.
West Coast.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's filling in for Carrie as, she recovers still. All right. PowerPoint's opening, you guys. All right. Let's introduce my old boss, everybody. Sherri Gillette, the maker of me and my greatness, right? She definitely honed
sure.
me and, smoothed all those edges. Some of them are still a little rough, but she definitely chipped away at a lot of that roughness, right? So she's going to be here today, you guys, to talk about senior relocation, primarily like when you guys are working with other offices and kind of the importance of it. We do need to do a better job at the home office of getting like best practices kind of honed in for this particularly. It is a pain point for us. And so I just wanted to bring a 10-year owner on here that's been doing it, that catches a lot of stuff and sends a lot of stuff, to kind of just talk about her experience and what they do in Arizona. So I'm going to share my
Okay.
screen and I will share your presentation.
Okay.
Go
Well,
ahead.
first thing that I'll say while that's all coming up is that, we were all where you were at that sort of in between beginning and first year. And, but moves have always been really important to us. We started with moves first because we wanted to make money. And so we've been doing moves from the very beginning, and moves continue to be a really important part of our business. So just know that if you're not doing moves or moves scare you, it's going to be really hard in this business to make enough money to stay afloat. You got to have a full book of business. You got to have a full and almost balanced book of work in order to be successful. Um, I don't really know anybody that's super successful that does just one piece of the business. So I would just tell you that if you're not doing moves yet because they freak you out, just remember that our client is more freaked out than we are, and we know more than they do because they're not going to be able to do it. So anything we do is perfect. Anyway, so this first one is we've never really talked about stuff with people. We don't believe that we're in the stuff business at all. We believe that we are in the people business. And if you guys have heard me do the Q&A, you've probably heard that already, but I don't really think about a person's stuff. I think about them and what they're going through emotionally, which is a big deal. There's really nothing more stressful than being a senior, other than losing a child or losing a spouse, than moving from their home into something smaller. So we handle their emotional needs, their logistical needs, just the basic trying to get them from one place to the other. And it not only helps those seniors, but it helps their families. And obviously, there's grief that goes with it. I am 63. We live in a huge house, and I still can't imagine moving because there's too much grief attached to it. I don't want to leave what is my house. So I understand it. There's a ton of anxiety about getting, not for me, but for them, getting rid of stuff. And then there's always family involvement, and there's one family member that's going to make this more difficult, almost always. So if you've worked with families, you know that 8 of the people are great, but that 9th one is the one that's going to drive you bananas. And, so there's always that one person. And then, whether or not, this is what we've learned to do, and that will continue to do better every day. But it's a complex situation. And we have to remember that if they're calling us, it's because they trust we're going to be able to handle it better than they can. So, and we're just one piece of what they're dealing with. So it's really important to remember, while we're an important piece, and certainly to us as businesses, very important, but they're dealing with a lot of change. They're dealing with real estate agents and people who are pressuring them from all sides. So it's nice when we can just handle it calmly, remember our place in the whole process, and try to make it as pleasant as it possibly can. And one of the things that we're going to talk about today is that at least so here we are 14 and a half, almost 15 years into business. And obviously we're busy. It's what I designed the business to be. We wanted it to be a big business. And now we're doing probably 5, if not more, moves across state lines every month. And you won't be there. You're going to get a couple of these, in the next year, but just know that at least 30 to 40% of the time, when we call another franchisee to be the one that's going to pick my customer up and settle them in that market, there are at least 35 to 40% of our owners will say, we don't really do that. So don't be that person, because this is one of the huge powers of having a nationwide network, is being able to make this really super seamless for our clients. It's super important that we make it really seamless for them. Can I advance my own slide?
No, but
Yeah.
I am right now for you.
Oh, I see. Okay. Anything else you want to say there, Sherri?
No, this is all you. You're gonna say it way better than me every time.
Okay. So the first thing that happens when someone raises their hand and says, I need you to help me, we have an intake form. And, it's a date and who they are and how we reach them by email, how we got the lead. If there's any other family involved, we want that information too. Then we write down what their objective is. This is all while we're on the phone with them, and we set a consultation. And this is important because this is what will travel to our client, to our neighboring franchisee when it's their turn to catch. We want you to know as much as we know. And here's the kinds of detail that we provide or that we would need you to provide. It kind of depends on who's going to be doing the floor plan. Typically, let's say I'm moving someone from Tucson to Gainesville, Florida, and or Gainesville, Georgia, or
Yeah,
Augusta,
that's
Georgia, anywhere. Anyway, I'm moving people, and sometimes we can do the floor plan for you. If you send it to us, we're happy to do it. You'll notice that we're super duper detailed. And this is important. It's really important when we're catching, because our whole goal is to make this super smooth and seamless for our client. So when we do a floor plan, you'll see all these numbers. They relate to the key that we've sort of made bigger here. And if there's a mesquite entry table, which is number 1 on there, and there's something that sits on that item, it's also number 1, so that when we're settling them, we know how this goes back together. Now, why is this important? Because number 1, your client might not be in the place they're moving to before their stuff gets there. And number 2, asking them where they want everything is really a problem, because they're overwhelmed, and you don't want them there when you're settling anyway, because it just looks like chaos. We know it's not, but it will feel chaotic to them if we need them to tell us everything that they need to do. So we do a very detailed floor plan. And in order for us to catch someone that you send to us, what we need is all this information. You don't have to do a key for us, but we do need the actual measurements of every single piece of furniture that's coming to us, and as many pictures as you can possibly take of that home before it's all packed up, because we need to see how they're going to live. You know the drill. We're trying to mirror how they live today in their huge home to how they're going to do that in 1,000 square feet or less. So in order for this to be super smooth, it has to be detail. We both are counting on where I'm counting on getting detail, and I'm absolutely committed to providing you the detail you need to make it seamless. It's really important. And it's important that we get paid for every single thing that we provide. And we use pods. We're sort of a power pod user. So almost every move we do is going to go into a pod or 2. God forbid 2. We're so sorry if you get 2 pods, because that means they took more things. And we try so hard not to let them do that. But this is when we're out of state and we're not going to pack them, this is everything that we're going to charge them, so that we get paid for everything we're not going to get back. In town, we reclaim those supplies, so we charge them different. It's actually $250 now, but not 200, but this is a little bit dated, but the supply costs are still there. So we charge $5 for small and medium boxes, large for $7 for large ones, wardrobes $25, and they don't cost us that much, but we're not going to get them back. And so we keep track of even rope and shrink and everything, mattress bags, all of it, and that goes on to their price for having us coordinate their move across the country. So they pay for the pod here, they pay for the supplies, and then we send them along to you. And in advance of you receiving them, you will have all of the sizes of the furniture. You'll have pictures before we have started to pack anything. You'll have that intake form. We're going to give you as much as we possibly can because, again, we want to not ask them a lot of questions. We don't want it to seem like we're not a seamless organization. And this is one way to do that. We just make sure that all the questions that either one of us could possibly have are answered as much as we possibly can answer them prior to the client walking into their newly beautifully organized and put away home in
Hey,
your
Sherri,
market.
real quick, because I know you do a really good job of now, 15 years in, you can see what size pod that you need. Can you speak to like how you guys are like what fits in what size pod, like square footage wise? Because I know you kind of have that down.
Yeah, and I think that it pods makes it super easy because they're going to say if you are moving into 800 square feet, you can probably go with an 8 by 10 pod. That will pretty much cover 800 square feet. If you're going into 1200 square feet, you're going to need an 8 by 12. They've got like 4 sizes of pods, and this is super important because, and it's happened to us still, it's happened to us this year even. We can order the pod. We tell people, you cannot change the scope of your move. We've already decided what's going in this pod. And then we get there and they have decided they want to take, 2 entry tables, 2 additional side tables, 4 extra boxes, and we've already cubed it out. And then we're like, well, shoot, I don't think it's going to fit. And that's when we either talk them out of getting another pod or having it freighted, across the country with FedEx. So it happens, and we just try to bend because again, they're seniors and this is hard. Most of the time when they start looking at the additional costs or the rush cost of that, they will make hard decisions. The hard decisions they made the first time, they'll remake those hard decisions. But sometimes we'll find ourselves shipping 16 boxes, and then we'll call our receiving one saying, okay, we at the last minute, they added 16 boxes. Not sure how that's all going to fit, and they don't care. And they know that you might just have to fill their spare bedroom with boxes because you won't have anywhere to put it. And we're so sorry. We tried really hard to right size them, and they just didn't listen. Usually we're very firm and fair, but we really try to talk them out of scope creep. Hard to do. Easy to say, hard to do, but about 50% of the time we're successful, 50% of the time we're scrambling to try to figure out either how to jam more into that pod, which is scary, but a very full pod is way better than a partially full pod because nothing moves when it's really full. But anyway, and I think we have a picture. I think we have pictures of pods. I don't know where that's at in the presentation.
I didn't get them in, but I'll show you guys at the end. I didn't get those added at the very
Okay,
end.
great. So
Show
it's
them.
complex, but it's not, I mean, on each side, it's only as complex as what you're normally expecting. The problems that we sometimes run into is that our community that we're working with or that we're moving someone into doesn't allow a pod to be on site. What a drag. So what a super big drag. I don't know how they think people are going to move from, Tucson to Gainesville, but sometimes they won't let them park that pod because they just don't, because that's something they don't allow. And so in that case, you have to try to get close. And we have to, when we do it here, we have to park that pod somewhere and then cross load it into a truck. It's ridiculous. And it's costly, but you know all of that going in. We're probably going to call your community that they're coming into, or we'll ask you to, and make sure that pods are allowed. And we don't have interstate trucking license. There's a lot of our franchisees who rent a U-Haul and do that. They just run across country. We don't have time for that. And we don't want to get into that business very badly because we are busy already without having to give up 2 people to drive a truck across the country and then come back. So we use pods. It's efficient for us, but you will find the most efficient for you too. Just know that this is going to be a part of your life. If you're going to be in this business, your answer is always yes. If they say, I need to move to Gainesville, Florida, you're going to say, sure, no problem. And then you're going to scramble like the dickens. You can call me even and I'll help you. But you got to say yes to those. They're pricey and it's good money. And it's important that we're able to say yes to everybody and then figure it out later. Really. You don't have to know all the answers. You just have to be able to say yes so that you can get there. We kind of talked about a lot of this already, but you've got to. I'm responsible for preparing you to receive this person. And I'm going to give you as much information as I possibly can. The measurements of all the furniture, all the photos, the intake, everything I know about this client is going to be shared with you. We do a box inventory and I love these sheets because we use them and they're really, really important because that gives you're probably going to end up doing that floor plan. And we'll have all of our, we'll have every piece measured. We'll have it measured and we'll have it numbered for you so that you'll know that the number 1 lamp goes to the number 1 table. And we will number our boxes so that you know which boxes are kitchen, which boxes, you're going to know, have a very basic idea of what's in each box so you can get the boxes to the right part of the house. And pods are loaded differently than maybe a truck because we try to do boxes, then a mattress, then boxes, then a box spring. And then we try to, we rope everything in. So it's a little bit different than a truck where we always want to put the bed on first, last, so that we can get their bed made and set up in case they do show up early and they can just go in their bedroom. But so when you're receiving a client from another CT office, I need you to help us set the stage for a smooth arrival. All those measurements, all that furniture, how's it coming together in that house? So pictures and measurements are critical because we don't want it to look like we don't know what we're doing. And I'll tell you that it is very, very common when we're receiving something that the person who sent it just feels like, well, we've done our part. I don't care what happens on your part. You know what I mean? But it's our client. So we should care all the way through the process. So, and we've received an awful lot with literally no measurements of anything, no pictures, no idea of what we're getting and how it's going to all fit. And that's hard because it's really hard to make it. We can make it up on the fly, but, what if they don't like it? What if they don't like how we've done it? What if we haven't set it up at all like how they were living before? What if they're always used to reaching to the left for a coffee cup and now they have to reach below to get a coffee cup? We're just trying to do the right thing. So we need to really set the stage for one another for a smooth arrival and resettle. Create standard operating procedures for communication and status updates. And I know you can expect us to over communicate. We'll probably drive you crazy because that's our process. We're just big on it. We'll give you more information than you probably wanted. We always prep our team that's going to be on that because the person who's selling the job is not the person that's going to be on the job. So it's that person, that project manager's job to make sure that they've got the right team and that team is completely up to date. We use Trello. You guys probably don't have to use Trello yet, but maybe you do. We use it because we need a way to track all the changes and all the communication. We need a centralized communication, and doesn't matter what you use for that. We used Google Calendar for years and years and years and years and years.
And email and text.
Remember that together we're both going to be focused on trying to make this experience a pleasant one, even when they're not very happy about it, many times about having to move, and that we're taking care of their emotional needs. And the way we do that is make it super smooth without a ton of questions and without, we would never, ever, no matter how much we sometimes get a customer sent here and we have little information, we would never say anything bad because we're a team. We would never say anything bad about you. We would never say, gosh, we would have done better if we could have just gotten some information. We don't do that because to them, we're all one. So we make sure that we're just focusing on them and making it as nice as we can and being professional. Obviously, that's, we've been talking sort of around that the whole time, but we need to make sure that we are professional with one another, professional in front of our client, and that neither one of us is just looking out for ourselves, because it's not how this family of caring transitions owners works. We take care of one another no matter what, and our client. Any questions about that part? Well, we'll take questions at the end. There's a lot here. Sometimes there's going to be, and it's especially in the Northeast, I really don't understand it, but some of the more remote areas of the upper mid-Atlantic does not have a caring transitions yet, or pods won't deliver there, or it just becomes really, really difficult. So sometimes you will need to work with someone from the National Association of Senior Move Managers. They're lovely people. If you're not a member, it's worth it. I'll tell you right now, because we get lots of leads through NASM, and we catch a lot from NASM. So they will send people into our market. So when we can't find a caring transitions, or there isn't a caring transitions to help us, or the caring transitions doesn't do moves, then we are forced into finding someone from the NASM organization to help us on that side, so that they only do moves. So that these are people who are just focused on the move industry. They're super professional. And if you are not a member, you should do it, because they have such a good educational program, and they have very professional tools, and their conventions are amazing. Their webinars are terrific. There's a lot to learn from NASM. They do a really, really good job. And I don't know what this next one means, Sherri. I don't know what professional organization is. So you have to know when and how to engage an external senior move manager. You can get on their site, even if you're not a member, and find who in the market you're moving people to is there. They'll give you, it's a name, number, and email. And you can call them, you can email them and say, hey, I've got someone moving to your market and I need help. Are you up for, helping catch this person? And there's usually 3 or 4 per market at least. And the same thing, you're gonna work with them transparently, just like you would if you were in the CT family. And it's not really different working with them, except that they expect a lot more from us. They really expect they want to know how many small boxes, how many big boxes, what's in each box. They have a whole different, they're very professional. Where I think we're kind of buttoned up, but we play a little loose and wild sometimes too. Not with clients, but just, we aren't that buttoned up all the time, but these folks are, and they will expect a lot from you, which is fine. So when you're working between 2 offices, just remember, we're thinking about us as a total system, that we're just one. To the client, we're one. They really don't see us as two different entities, even though they're going to get different invoices. And we may charge completely different. So what I charge here may be completely different from yours. I'll never tell them what you're going to charge. You won't be able to tell them what I'm going to charge. That's separate. So they're going to get two invoices. That's okay. And they can understand that. But it does really require us to think about it as a system. Whether sending, receiving, or coordinating with MASM, the client should feel like this was beyond their wildest dreams, really, that it was smoother than they ever imagined. You know, when I was going through training a million years ago, one of the things they said is try to make it as exciting as their wedding day. I haven't found that client yet, but we do try to make sure that they don't have anything to get mad at us about. You know, they're not, a lot of them just aren't happy because they're just, this is awful. You know, for many of them, this is a really, really, really difficult thing. And it's like going to kindergarten again. You know, you don't know anybody, you're going to be starting over, and it's hard. And the older you are, the harder it is. So they need to feel supported every step of the way. It's okay to check in with them and say, how are you doing? You know, your stuff is, you know, it's on its way to Tucson, and that's exciting, and you're going to love it there. And, you know, your Tucson team is ready to help you. And, you know, so it's really, it's a system approach. And we have all the tools. Really, we do. And if you don't have the tools, say yes anyway, because you know what? Necessity is the mother of invention. You will figure it out. Don't say no. Just say yes, because you'll figure it out. You'll never figure it out if you're too afraid to say yes. So we are the yes business here. That has been my mantra from the very beginning. And it drives my team, and even Sherri has been driven crazy by this, because I will say yes to things and they'll be like, there's no way we can do that. I'm like, I'm pretty sure there's a way that we can do that. And you know what? We always do. We really do. So it's okay to make your team uncomfortable. And it's okay for you to feel uncomfortable. It's okay, because you'll get, you know what? You don't learn from anything that you don't do. You only learn from doing it. And what's even more scary is that you really only learn from doing it and doing it wrong. You know, you never learn from the things that just are super smooth. You sort of learn when you get it wrong, and then you're like, whoa, I won't do that again. So,
Totally.
all right. So that is it. I talk too fast, and I am very verbose. So now we have lots of time for questions, and there's no dumb questions. And I like questions a lot.
I also want to say you guys can ask her questions that are unrelated to relocation too.
That's
When
right.
you guys come,
Anything you want to ask.
yeah, you
I'm
guys
an open book.
read.
Sherri, this is Jay McElrath in Macon, Georgia. Got a quick question for you. Ha- this is a little bit off the topic, but
Don't worry.
how do you charge? I'm curious how you charge for your moves that are going across state lines. Are you throwing out a per hour charge or an all-in?
We never charge by we don't ever tell customers our hourly rate. So thank you so much for asking that question.
Yes.
If you've sat through training with me, you have probably already heard me say that. Not every customer is equal.
Right.
And so we have never, ever charged an hourly rate. We charge a range, and it gets there, you know, by hourly rates, but we're not going to quote them an hourly rate. We'll talk all the way around that and back again and never give an hourly rate. So for us, for an in-town move, we're using a formula. You've got the estimator,
Yes.
or the accelerator. So, but we didn't have it when I started. We didn't have anything.
Mhm.
You know, I had a trifold brochure and a folder. Nothing else. So we charge a lot now, Jay, because we can. I mean, you know, we've been in business for 15 years, and the vast majority of our business is referral. But not everyone is equal. You know, some people want to move 3 curio cabinets and 1,002 Swarovski crystals.
Mhm.
And some people are going to buy a lot of new furniture for their new house, and they're ready, they're excited. Those people are super great. Uh, and then the people that want to bring too much, they're more expensive because they're going to take a lot more time. So, we're pretty good now at figuring that out and reading those people.
Mhm.
But we give a pretty big range, and you don't even want to know what we charge because it's a lot. But we start at $5.75 per square foot and go up to $7 per square foot. So if someone's moving into 1,000 square feet
Mhm.
in town,
Mhm.
we're charging them. Our estimate's going to be $5,750 to $7,000. Now, keep in mind, I'm in Tucson and we are 45 minutes from Mexico. So we're an affordable market, but that's high for this market. I mean, there's trucks that drive around saying we'll move your whole apartment for $400. I don't even know how they do it. We can't even get in a truck for $400.
Right.
So, but I mean, we're an expensive business.
Mhm.
We believe we're worth it. We don't have any trouble getting business. 40% of our business is moves and cleanouts. So we're plenty busy on that side of our business. And we charge a lot for it. And someday you'll be there too. Don't be afraid to take your prices up when you start to feel busy. When you get busy, you can take your prices up.
Super.
But
Great.
don't ever many of you have sat through training with me. You need to have You need to be able to say yes. And to do that, you're going to have to keep your eye on what is your pipeline. And if it gets out there longer than two weeks from now, you need to hire. Because if you have to tell people it's going to be 6 weeks before I can do anything and they need to move in 2 weeks, you just lost that job because you had not enough capacity. Don't let capacity be a problem. Capacity is what everybody worries about. And I did too in the beginning because it's risky. It's
Right.
risky. You're bringing people on. You don't know if you can keep them busy, but you just cross train everybody in the beginning and they just do everything,
Mhm.
you know. But you definitely need to be able to, not everybody's going to need a 2 week turnaround, but there's a lot of people that do. They wait too long in the process, and now you have to hurry. Their lack of planning makes it your problem, and it's a good problem to have. That's what we're in business for, to solve problems.
Right. Right.
This is a
Sherri, this
pod,
is
so you can see how the pod is loaded. There's the first layer or so, layer and a half, and then they rope it in, and then the bottom right is halfway full, and then the bottom left is when we're completely full. And then we put a padlock. We order the long shank padlocks. Then we take a picture of it and then we remove the tag. We don't send it with that tag on there. Anybody could get into it then, but we take a picture and send it to the place, the franchisee that's receiving it, and to the client, because we don't want to forget and we don't want anyone to not have all the information that we have. So you'll get pictures of the pod, you'll get pictures of it. This is what you're going to get. You're going to get a lot of information from us because it's what we would want if we're going to get it. If we're receiving it, we want as much information as we possibly can. Did I answer your question, Jay?
You did. You did, Sherri. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Other questions? Anything on any topic?
Well, this is Cynthia Cox, and I'm going to be around Houston and Brazelton, Georgia. I actually have a person that they want to move out to the state of Washington near Seattle.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we have anyone in that area.
We do.
Have you sent anything to a little town called Squeam? Squeam?
No, but if it's near, we've got quite a few people in Washington. I don't know where
it's
that's
like
at.
It's the Olympic Peninsula. It's over around the bend
Yeah,
from
yeah. Whoever
Tacoma.
took Joe Masson's place, I can't remember their name, but the new
It's
person for Joe Masson.
Teresa Murphy.
Oh, okay, wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah. So there's people up there. Washington is pretty easy to send to. I have a lot more trouble sending people into um, Connecticut and Vermont,
Yeah.
and up there it's hard because
Well,
there's a lot of little towns that
well,
don't,
you can
you know.
imagine how scared I am because it's going to be my first job.
Oh, and you know what? What a
Yeah.
great learning experience for you. It'll be, you
Uh,
know what? You'll learn so much.
Well,
And
I'm grateful that I just got home from being with Charlene for a week.
yeah.
Except I had to go to the ER on Monday. She worked me so hard.
Oh, well, I think it's it's a great thing. How are you going to get it there?
I haven't gotten that far because we're actually launching August 1st, and
Okay.
and they are planning on going sometime mid-August to the beginning of September.
Okay.
So,
Well, I'll tell you, you have a great resource in Tucson. Uh, I'll send the information to Sherri, but Teresa Punt is my top salesperson here, and she
uh-huh.
does all the cross country moves. She coordinates all those details.
Okay.
She would have been better at this than me, but she can walk you through everything that you can be thinking about and all of your options because there's, depending upon how much they're moving, pods is a great resource. ABF trailers are a great resource. If you don't know what ABF are, they look like little miniature uh, truck beds, like that trucks pull up to and they just, put it on the back of their truck. It's
I
like the
have seen
trailer
one.
that, and they're great for larger moves. We use them too.
Hmm.
They're, um, we don't do a lot of adding on to a Wheaton truck or adding on to a, Horizons truck or anything like that. We don't really do that.
Okay.
Um, because um, they don't. So Pods tells you with a 2 hour window when it's going to deliver.
Uh-huh.
Um, no one else will do that. So we
Uh-huh.
like that because our clients want to know when is their stuff going to arrive, and when can we unload it.
Well, I think your comment about calling the other end about receiving pods, because
Yeah,
that's one thing that Charlene ran into in the last few weeks was
yeah,
difficulty getting it into the space more than
yeah.
anything. Yeah.
Yeah, and and I know that that can be a problem. And usually, what we try to find is a parking lot very near there, and we just load it into our truck and then have it delivered.
Okay.
So you can arrange for a mover to come and meet you and just cross dock.
And
It's not it's more expensive.
do you give that information to your client on the front end so that they are expecting that?
No, because they
Okay.
don't. That's an invisible part to them, and it'll just cause them stress. You're
Okay.
going to need to know because you need to know how to charge.
Okay.
But that, for them to think that, it's going to be, we can't take the pod there and then we're going to have to drop it and then we're going to have to unload it and put it on a truck. And,
Yeah.
I can just imagine it's just going to be like, oh my gosh,
Okay.
it's just
Yeah.
one of those things that we want to avoid as much stress in advance as you possibly can.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
I'm a U of A alumni, by the way.
Oh, how about that? Well, I'm an Iowa girl. I'm in Iowa right now. My dad's really old, and I always come for about a month in June, which is really the most horrible time of year to come here. It's hot, it's very humid. And but I am here in my camper in his driveway with my three dogs, and we're taking care of my dad.
Well, I had tried to come to Tucson and train with you, but you weren't doing that. And the
Oh,
and because my kid's godmother is in Phoenix and she just lost her husband. So,
oh
but that
gosh.
didn't work out. We'll do it another time.
Well, and I am in the training program, but word of warning, I am like the perfect place to come after your 2 or 3 years in business and looking to scale because it's
That's what I was
overwhelming to
thinking.
come
Yeah.
here a bit.
Yeah.
It's where it's
Overwhelming.
not everybody has all these crazy things here, and we are a crazy business. I mean, we have a ton of infrastructure that's very expensive. Um, but we do our own shipping. We have our own warehouse. We have 4 trucks. We have 3 vans. We have, it's what I wanted, but you have to
Hmm.
be careful what you hope for because half the time I wish
Now
I
you
didn't
got
have it.
it. Yeah.
So so you don't want to come here as a brand new person because it makes your eyes roll back in your head and you feel like you're going to have a seizure. And
Yeah,
it's a horrible thing.
Charlene was enough. Definitely
Yeah, that's
enough.
right. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and she's a big business too. I mean,
Oh yeah, she was.
and I love her.
Yeah, she was great.
She's one of my besties in the organization.
Yeah, she's incredible. She
Yeah,
and
she's
Charlotte both.
amazing.
Yeah.
And she's so buttoned up. She's way more we are sort of wild and woolly out here, and she's so buttoned up and professional. We're kind of not.
Yeah. Well, it was
We have
great
fun
to
here. We laugh a lot because
it
it's
was
way
great to
better
get the
than anything
Trello
else.
experience though.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Tina,
great.
did you
She's
have a question?
absolutely wonderful.
Yes.
Any
Okay.
other questions?
Yes.
Yes. Hi, Sherry. This is Dina from Massachusetts.
Hi, Dina.
Hi. I actually said yes to a relocation, but
Yay.
I know, and I've had a couple opportunities. They always seem to fall through, like they never ended up moving or something. But here's an interesting one. It's an elderly gentleman in New Hampshire. You're right. There's no coverage up there, so it's a little bit of a travel for us to go to this one. But the client wants to catch in Ann Arbor, Michigan, meaning they don't because he's not really bringing a lot with him and he's moving into a new condo from a little cabin in New Hampshire. They want to do the catch. They don't necessarily want carrying transitions to catch him in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Oh, the community does?
The family.
Oh, the family does. That's fine.
I thought
Whatever.
so too, because he's not really bringing a lot. It seems to be straightforward, but I didn't know, like, we would still prepare all those materials, correct?
Yeah, I think you would have to say to the family, do you have a floor plan? Would you like that to come from us? Or do you feel like, you want to do this on the fly when you get there? And honestly, it's probably not going to go very well for this guy because kids argue with their parents a lot. But you can offer as much support to that family as you possibly can from afar. I would try to get the floor plan because you can charge for it. And I would definitely take pictures of the stuff he's bringing so they can prepare. He must be going into a small space. Is he moving in with his family?
No, he's actually
No.
moving into an independent living condo. Um, so it's very modern. He's coming from something very rustic and small. So
Okay.
it's gonna be quite a change for him. He's going into
Yeah.
something very modern and new, and he,
Yeah.
he and
Well,
he's coming from something very.
men are typically so much easier, which is just gonna, I'm so sorry, men. That sounds really, really sexist. But they
It
really just
is.
want their recliner and their remote and their TV and a bed.
Oh, he wants his
Um,
books. He's
they're
an
kind of
academic.
easy, and a coffee machine. It's like it's kind of they're in general, they don't need a lot of decorative things. They don't,
Yes.
they have their nest and you'll know what their nest looks like. It's going to be, it's a lot of stuff on a small little table next to their recliner and then, a remote and everything else. So, oh, you can see my Trello board if I can figure out how to show
Share.
you that. I'm happy to our Trello board. We don't we had Nicole Ray teach us and then we set it up completely different because because we have all the pieces. And so let me see if I can figure out how to show you that. Um,
Yeah, Sherry, I would love to. I'm trying to set up a Trello board to
yeah,
because
and
I'm very
everybody
new.
does it different.
I know
And
everybody's different, but I'm trying to get ideas from people, to try and put a good one together.
My recent training session was a total flop. I couldn't get into Kathleen's board. Me and her couldn't. It was
All
Yeah,
right,
Sheree,
let me
I'm
see
not
if
trying
I
to,
can
yeah, I'm not
share
trying
my
Oh,
to.
no, no,
page.
I
I'm
wasn't.
not
I
quite
was just
sure
talking
how
about
to,
how much of a
I
hot
don't
mess
know
that.
how to share mine,
Go to your
but
green button at the bottom, Sherry. Is it
I
art?
am at my buttons in the bottom.
And then share the whole screen.
Okay, share.
Yeah, I want to take some pictures of it.
There. Okay. Can you see it?
It's coming. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. There you go.
All right.
Okay, so our Trello board is set up with all the list of the consults that we have in our calendar that we haven't done yet.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's everything that's we have to conduct in the next week. Then we have jobs that are current, and those are typically right now they're in the move. We have to move them first before we can move them to the next thing. But these are all the people that we're currently working with. And then once we've moved them, if there's stuff left over, then we just simply we move these cards along. Okay. So when we're done with Jeannie Hobbs, we would open that and we would say, okay, so she is in current jobs, and I can click this down and I'm going to move it now to in-home sales. Okay. So that's what IHOL just means in-home sales. So I would just click that and it would move the card along with all the information that's been happening to that person through their move, through their consult, everything. It's going to move it now to their in-home sale, or I could move it to their warehouse sale. But it actually just keeps track of literally everything that we are doing. So it's all the people that have touched this client. So Cody is our intake person. So probably at the very bottom of this, it'll say Cody has taken the original. We've been working with this person for a long time because they're a hoarder and they are not ready, but they find their husband has just given up and said, we are moving. And
Oh my Lord.
look at all this. We have to sell all this
Ooh,
because they have a full house in Florida.
ooh.
So here's all the pictures so we know what we're getting into. We actually love these jobs. I'm telling you right now, this is my very favorite kind of client. I love this stuff. Anything where it's just too much stuff, I love it.
Gary, do you have checklists in
okay.
your in any of your
So
boards?
it's not even going to give me that we've been working with them so long, it doesn't even give me the whole history, but you get the idea. Everybody is commenting and putting work against this client and it keeps track. It becomes a whiteboard of everything we've ever done with that person. So this is an early one. I know we just started working with them. So
There's your checklist, Jay.
we moved them and I think we're doing a sale for them, but we're not there yet. So this is a pod and we're moving them into look at that fancy car that we get to sell. So it's, it's just a way for us to, and then there's all this over here where we keep track of what have we quoted them for their move. We've quoted them $7,600 to $9,500 and an additional $400 move management because they're probably pestering us. We always get half. We say the date on which we got the half. Let's see. What supplies will we need? We're gonna need 70 blue moving blankets because they're going into a pod. So we start thinking about we have to buy that stuff. We don't keep that many blankets. So it starts with our intake person takes this information in here and all this information here, what their email address is, what their phone number is, where they live. It gives us an address and it also maps it. And then we start putting in their agreements because we use DocuSign mostly. We're pretty much a one-call close team. We don't, we try to get it signed while we're there. We don't want to leave and have them call anyone else. We want it. We want it all the time.
Sherry, will you clarify real quick? Will you clarify?
I'm sorry?
Will you clarify real quick? The person that's taking the intake information, that's Tony still, right?
That's Cody.
Oh,
He's
Cody's-
not getting all these agreements, but he's getting
Okay.
in everything above this line.
Okay.
So where they live,
takes over
Um,
from that? Is it
you know,
Teresa?
what their email address is, what their phone number is, and then he will also, he puts in what he learns in the phone call.
Okay.
Um, the very first phone call, he'll put in what he has learned by talking to them. So let's see if I can get there. Okay, so he copied this card because he used our template, then he added Teresa, and then this is what he's saying. The client is moving from his 4-bedroom, 2,500 square foot to be with his family in Mississippi. He's already ordered his own pod. He needs packing, a pod load, and liquidation. He's taking half at most of his stuff, and we've booked a consultation for Teresa for April 1st at 10 a.m. So obviously we got the job because it's now in a current job. We're in the process of helping this person get moved. And it looks like we're moving them on the 6th of August. So it's a ways out there, but we're working with him. And then when we move someone into, let's see, I'm trying to think, this person we moved and they had a pod and now we did a sale in their house. And then we didn't get their house all done because we're on a drum beat here. We start on Monday, we go live on Thursday night for in-home, and then we end the following Tuesday. And there was just a few things that were still kind of nice, so we wanted to get them moved to the warehouse so we could sell them from there. And we also show everything we want to send to cash and carry that we aren't going to sell, that sort of thing. So these are all things that are going to cash and carry. And so anyway, the client called and said they were having plumbing issues. This is right before we go to their house to do their in-home, and there was no plumbing. We're like, what? Where are we going to go to the bathroom? We have to, so so they got the water turned on first day. That's good. Anyway, so we moved them with a pod, and then we went back into their home and sold everything that's left. So different from how others might do it, but we have all of our boards in a single place, and we move them along as the project moves along. So we even have, this is where my marketing gal comes in and grabs all this information, which is basically who needs to get the email. And I include a link to the sale too. So those are really brief. And then here's everybody that needs to be paid. So these are all the people waiting to be paid, and they get paid 30 days after their sale pickup day, because we don't know if someone's going to return something, or especially if it's heavy jewelry, we're especially careful. We'll get jewelry shipped out right away, so in case it's going to be returned, we haven't paid our client and now we are trying to deal with something that didn't actually sell. And then this is contract follow-ups, people we've met with, but they haven't signed a contract yet. So they're in process, or because they haven't sold their house, we've met with them, they're ready to sign, but not until they sell their house do they want to get going. So this is everybody we've met with, but we're waiting to get the signed contract from. And then I'm trying to remember what else is over here.
Hey, Sherri,
Completed.
Jamie's asking if
Yes.
there's like a calendar view for your due dates for like your moves or the consults, etc. You guys don't.
Yep.
It's really just these.
Yep, we still have a Google Calendar
Okay, so you're
for
using
that, and I'll share that. Can you see it?
so not in Trello, Jamie, but they're still using Google.
Yeah, we still do. Can you guys see my calendar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so gray is always Packers. This red color, which goes sort of pink when it's done, is what the in-home team is doing. And yellow is where the movers are. And let's see, this salmon color is what's coming into the warehouse to be sold. So who's coming to the warehouse for being sold offsite? These are offsite moves. We had 3 incoming today. And then we always have our pickup day for our in-home is always on Friday from, well, it goes from 7 to 10 this time of year because it's hotter than blue blazes here in Tucson. So we do it early in the morning. We don't work on the weekends anymore unless we're doing an estate sale, which we never get asked to do much anymore.
Boo.
I know everybody, we love them and we try. We really do. We try to get them to do it. Here's next week. It's a quiet week because of the 4th of July. So this, I'm sorry, it doesn't probably look quiet, but we have someone coming into the warehouse. Teresa has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 consultations in the first 3 days of next week. Dave's on vacation, our other salesperson. So, and we're in a house that we have to get done in 3.5 days because nobody wants to work on the 4th of July. So we're in a very full house. We put all of our Trello links in our calendar so we can just go straight to the client from our calendar. But calendar is still how we schedule our consultations, where our trucks are going to be. It's sort of a, and you can see I'm now griping because I asked for a 2-week prep and he only gave us one. So now we're not going to get done. I'm just sure of it. I'm not going to get done. And when you see this house, you'll know why it scares me a lot. These look so nice, don't they? But they're not really. It's really full and messy. And there's a guest house and there's so much going on in this house. But anyway, it's a huge house and I'm scared. But so we can link from our calendar to Trello on every entry. So they're sort of tied together. So, Teresa is orange and she's going to go see Linda Green and she could click on here and say, okay, what's Linda Green? What do we know about Linda Green? So it's a really easy way to, so here's what Cody has told her. She's moving from her 2-bedroom townhouse into Desert Spring Independent Living. She's going to finalize and sign papers today. Move-in date to be somewhere around 1st of August. She's going from 2,000 into 1,300. She's looking for liquidation. We know that won't be an in-home because it's just it'll be a small amount, possibly interested in having us ship things. She was recommended to us by a friend, which is what most of our stuff is now. It's almost all referral. But anyway, all of these are, things that Teresa has to do before she is off for the holiday. Let's see. What else can I tell you about this? Dave is always in purple and he's, the following week, he probably has lots of consultations too. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consultations so far and he's still on vacation. So anyway, that's our calendar. That's how we sort of, it's a one-stop look at what's going on, but we need the detail of Trello, and Sherri was with us only when we were doing Google Calendar and it got a little crazy because we were missing things, that now you're relying on text to everybody where now we can just put it in Trello. And if you don't read it, that's your own fault, and people hate it. I'm pretty sure right now on my phone I have 42 unread Trello entries, and that's just since I started this call. It's like, oh my God, that's a lot. I have to figure that out. I have to read all those and figure out what's going on. And but we're slow adopters to technology. I'll just tell you that right now, we're slow. And we didn't do Trello until 2 years ago after New Orleans. And we came back from that and I told Tony, who actually just does everything for our business and I do anything that she says. I told her she just had to get us on Trello by February 1st. And she did. It might have been Tree even when you were here. It's like, we're going to get on Trello no matter what.
We had
It might have
started
been
talking
3 years ago, 4 years ago. I don't even know. It's like forever ago, but I didn't want to do it. And, literally everybody else that had been in business for 4 or 5 years is using it and telling me how great it is. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do that. And then it's like, okay, we're going to have to do something. So, I'm technology slow. I mean, not, I understand technology, but I'm slow to adopt it, really.
So Dina has
What
like
other, okay, so we've spent a lot of time there. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
it's okay.
What
I got
else?
two questions. One's quick. Dina wants to know if you're using the CRM in Fran Connect.
Am I using what? CRM? Yes, we send all of our emails out by Fran to Connect. We do not manage our clients from there, but we use it for pushing information out to our email list. And we have like, I don't know, 14,000 people on our list because we've been doing this forever. And it was really, when we were doing so many estate sales, we would get a list full of people every week. So, and they always got added. And now I think the corporation puts in all your bidders. So we used to have to do that, but I think they do that for us now.
Well, no, they're only putting in new bidders that live within 50 miles of one of your owned zip codes. They could be bidding
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. I don't,
Are you
I,
using it for your referral partners?
I'm sorry. Yeah. So we put in our
Referral
referral
partners?
partners
Okay.
too, so that if we want to do a realtor mailing or, geriatric care manager, which we've never gotten any business from, by the way, or, funeral home directors, which we've never gotten any jobs from, attorneys, which is a really small list for Tucson. We have them all in there and they're all segregated, but the vast majority are followers of our liquidations.
Yeah. And then Jay wants to know what you like better between estate sales versus auctions. And Jay, you should also know that Sherri was a slow getter onto the platform for CT bids as well. Like she took her
I
several
was a I
years
was a
to get
very
into
late
the
adopter,
auctions, just FYI.
like 5 years
Yeah.
before, because before the CT bid now, there was something called CT online auctions, which I just was like, I'm not doing that. We had such a huge estate sale business, $1.4 million estate sale business. And we loved it. Had two sales every weekend. It was just our life. And I didn't want to just move business across the ledger. It needed to be either organically grown, something addition to what we already had, or I wasn't going to do it. And I ended up going to a regional meeting so many years ago and everybody was doing it. And then you start to feel like a slug. And I'm like, well, everybody's looking at me like I'm the big one. And why aren't I doing all the things that everybody else is doing? And so I came back and asked if anybody knew how to do, how to sell things online. And a guy that was on our packing team said, well, I buy and sell um, storage units. So I said, okay, you can do CT online auctions then. I'll give you a small space in a warehouse and then everything we can't sell in an estate sale because it's too small of a sale or, whatever, you can have it and sell it. You can't hire anybody and, good luck. And I didn't think about it at all. And I'm like, well, if he makes it, great. If he doesn't make it, fine. And, but he did. And we were in like a little 750 square foot. No, we were 900 square feet for $750 definitely a warehouse. Then we tried to do estate sales out of, by the way, because we have enough of the, where people don't have enough to do an estate sale. So we would send it to our warehouse. And then when the warehouse got full, we'd run an estate sale out of there. And like people kept thinking it was rerun stuff and all that. And they were just moderately successful so that we turned it into our online auction. Then we outgrew that pretty quickly and moved down in the complex, same complex, but into 4,000 square feet. And we were there for a long time. And then right before COVID, really January of COVID, Jeff said, we have to move because we're running out of space. We're renting the space next door too often. And it's, so reluctantly, because I'm risk averse, we went into a very large 8,000 square foot warehouse with two roll-up doors, just a big cube And that's where we are today. And it's a huge business. And when COVID hit, we couldn't really successfully do in-home sales, estate sales, because they wanted you to keep 10 people at a time and they needed to stay 10 feet apart, and nobody pays attention to that. And people would be mad because they're standing outside, and then people would be all 10 people would be clustered together in the same space inside, and was just nerve-wracking. And so we started trying to get our arms around in-home sales, and it took us a long time to figure it out. But once we did, my goodness, the market went crazy for it. And our realtors were like, I don't ever want to do an estate sale again. This is way better. You don't mess up the house. You don't make the carpet dirty. I don't have, 2,000 people wandering through the house for a day. I don't have any banged up, doorways. And then homeowners started to see that they could get better results. And so we hardly ever get any requests for an estate sale anymore, ever. And we're really disappointed about it because they're fun, they're social, they were so successful for us, but we just don't get asked about it anymore. And we are the only ones in town that do online auctions. So everybody that was our competitor on the estate sale side, their business has dropped way off. The girls, which were our largest competitor, would have maybe one real estate sale a month. And, they were doing them every week like we were. But we've converted this market and no one else can compete. And that's a pretty good feeling too. We love them both. I do love having the weekend off. I like not working on Saturdays in the heat. But we think they're both important pieces of business, and we do an estate sale in a split second if somebody would call us to do it. We'd absolutely do it in a split second.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we are over, even though we started a few minutes late. So I think
I'm sorry. You guys can send me text at my phone number. My phone number goes to our intake person, so you won't want to try to call because he'll ask you a bunch of questions that'll feel really invasive. But you can text me at my phone number, which is 520-262-1495. And my email is just like your email, first initial, last name, but I am a .net because I am 1,000 years old with this company. And I will tell you, I should retire, but I really love it. Still, here I am, 15 years in business, and I don't want to quit. My husband wants me to quit. My husband has quit pretty much. He sells houses now, but he doesn't, he would love it if I would quit, but I'd like it too much still. I still find it to be a real charge every day. I love going to work. I
Is
really
Matt
do.
around right now, Sherri? Is Matt around right now?
No, he's at Boy Scout camp this week.
Oh, okay. Is he not in Iowa with you?
I'm sorry.
Is he not in Iowa with
No,
you? Oh, okay.
No, he brought the camper to me and then turned around and drove back, worked for 3 or 4 days to get a house ready to go, and then went to scout camp last Saturday through tomorrow. And then he'll drive back here on Monday to be here by the 2nd. So we can do 4th of July here so that we can then leave on the 6th and drive back.
What part of Iowa?
He's driving a lot.
Where in Iowa?
I'm outside of Des Moines.
Okay.
Which is, so Matt grew up in Ames and I grew up in Oskaloosa, a small town. And I reconnected with all my high school besties probably 6 years ago, and we've been writing RAGBRAI every year.
Yeah.
And this year we are not. This is the first year we're not. None of us, all 12 of us are saying no. So it's hot, and there's probably better places to ride bikes in July than the cornfields of Iowa.
Well, ironically, my husband Ron was supposed to be in Iowa for a sales meeting this week, but when I had to go to the ER, he had to pull out. So
I hope you're all right.
Oh, well, I hope I am too.
Okay.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Everybody also get Teresa Punt's information. I dropped that in the chat as well.
Oh, you did? Because
She's
all I
an
got was her
amazing,
name.
she's in Denver right now. All of us are traveling right now. She's in Denver playing with her grandkids, but she'll be back on Monday.
Yeah, it's in there, Cynthia. Go up there and look. She's
Okay.
at Caring Transitions, and
Oh,
then
I see it. Yep. Thanks.
She's amazing. If you guys want to know anything about ordering pods, sizing pods, cubing pods, figuring out how many boxes you're going to need, all of that, we stole her from Daniels, which was our primary competitor on the move side.
Huh.
And we just stole her. And she's been the best thing that ever happened. I mean, on our move side, Sherri was the best thing that ever happened on our liquidation side. But Teresa is amazing. She knows way more than I'll ever know about moves. She's really, really good.
Yeah, maybe
And
I'll
very
do a follow-up
patient.
with her. Bring
I'm
her in.
sorry.
Said maybe I'll do a follow-up with her. Bring her and do a Q&A with her with the owner.
Yeah, she's amazing. She really is.
You know your
And
name.
she is a very good salesperson. People don't even know they're gonna say yes. And she says, we are a service. She just sells it as service all the way. Yep, you won't make any money, but this is a service to make your life easier. And they'll just sign and hand her keys after an hour. It's an amazing thing that she does. She's really, really good.
Well, we appreciate you and your time very much.
Oh, you know what? There's nothing I would rather do than talk to people that are just starting out or just getting their feet really wet. I really love it. I really do. It's my favorite thing. So I appreciate y'all giving me so much time. And Sherri, thank you so much for inviting me. I love this stuff.
Yes, no, thanks for coming on. And now you guys all know where I get it, where I can't get out of a call on time ever.
I know.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. And it's
She tweeted
Friday.
me.
Everybody wants to be done.
I just want to tell you way more than you need. I get it from her. It's all her fault.
There you go. I'm an over communicator. Have a great weekend, everybody.
All right.
Thank you, Sherri.
Stay cool. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Sherri.